How important do you think Medicaid is to helping provide access to healthcare residents for your community? Um, 95% of people, and Paul and I'll tell you, we do a ton of surveys. You don't see 95%. That's just not a number you see. Usually, as you see some of these other numbers, it's 55-45 or 60-40. Anything that's over 60% is incredibly strong. 80% of voters in this survey said Medicaid was very important to providing health care in their community. So Medicaid is something that is incredibly popular. Again, when you look at the divide, 95.6 of Democrats say that, 94.4 of Republicans say that. I don't think you're going to find agreement on many issues across the two parties at this kind of level. Would you agree or disagree that they have generally been safe and effective? 73%, almost 74% said they were safe and effective. Only 21%, 21.5% disagreed. 51% strongly agreed that they had been effective, and 22% somewhat agreed as how you break down that 73% number. So Lynn Bonner asked a question early on about were there things that we saw that surprised us? I don't think the surprise here is that people support vaccines. I think that it's broadly that even Republicans, 60% of Republicans generally think vaccines are safe and healthy to use, even with the messaging largely coming from the right that is sort of anti-vaccine. You still see a large majority of Republicans supporting vaccines. We asked people what they thought about this question, that political debate is a healthy process, but the current tone and tenor is only dividing the country and making matters worse. 86% of voters agreed with that point, is that the current tone and tenor is very divisive for the country. And again, we saw broad agreement among all parties, among all ages, gender, demographic, et cetera. 67, almost 68% strongly agreed. Again, remember what I said earlier, that's an incredibly high number.
When you look at the ACA, one of the things I always put in here is Obamacare. And the reason why I put the word Obamacare in there is because back in, Richard Burr and Tom Tillis, a key foreign part of their U.S. Senate races was running against Obamacare. It was repeal and replace it. And that number used to be in the 80s and 90s with Republicans. But the point that we break out here is that Republicans are evenly divided. And when that comes into the funding side of that and that healthcare issue, and quite frankly, on part of these impacts, you're going to see healthcare and affordability and the cost and some of the things that have taken place policy-wise start to play out into these general elections.